morning all. Today we are going to discuss about features of double helix structure of DNA. Features of double helix structure of DNA are important for the theory also, even need to CET also. So question how chance to ask, briefly write about double helix structure of DNA or what is the common feature of double helix structure of DNA. This is the question, important question. Now see 5 mark question. This is common feature of double helix structure of DNA. So double helix structure of DNA. This is nothing but double helix structure. Double helix structure of DNA given by Watson and Crick scientist. Watson and Crick scientist in 1953. So who given the double helix structure of DNA means double helix structure of DNA given by Watson and Crick in 1953 based on Wilkins and Franklin XRD X-ray diffraction data and Chargaff rule. This is also I was given last class, Chargaff's rule. So Watson and Crick proposed double helix structure of DNA based on the Wilkins and Franklin X-ray diffraction data and Chargaff's rule. Even neat questions also. Watson and Crick proposed a double helix structure of DNA based on which of the following concept? First one XRD, Wilkins and Franklin X-ray diffraction data. Second Chargaff's rule. Third both A and B. D no one answer. So both A and B correct. So Watson and Crick proposed a double helix structure of DNA in 1953. So that's why these two scientists got the Nobel Prize in 1962. So 1962 the Watson and Crick got the Nobel Prize for given the double helix structure of DNA. So according to double helix structure of DNA, what is the common features? What is the common feature? This is the diagram double helix structure of DNA. According to double helix structure of DNA, there is a 2 polynucleotide chains. This is nothing but 2 polynucleotide chains. Exactly. 2 polynucleotide chains. 2 polynucleotide chains are 2 polynucleotide chains coiled together and form helix like this. 2 polynucleotide chain. This is one and this is one. 2 polynucleotide chains coiled together and form helix. It is nothing but right-handed helix. So seems to be like that. Right-handed helix. 2 polynucleotide chains coiled together and form helix. This is nothing but helix. Helix structure of DNA. So each polynucleotide chain having large number of nucleotides. Each polynucleotide chain having large number of nucleotides. Then polynucleotide chain, the backbone of the polynucleotide chain. This is nothing but polynucleotide chain. The backbone of polynucleotide chain, sugaru phosphate. Backbone of the polynucleotide chain or phosphate to sugar. And then another chain also, phosphate to sugar. Backbone of the polynucleotide chain is phosphate and sugar. Nitrogen bases, these are all nitrogen bases. Nitrogen bases are projected inwards. That is very, very important. So the backbone of the polynucleotide chain, phosphate and sugar, while nitrogen bases are attached to the sugars and projected inwards. This is only inwards, inside. Then 2 polynucleotide chains show the anti-parallel polarity. 2 polynucleotide chain. This is one chain, this is one chain. 2 polynucleotide chains shows anti-parallel polarity means one chain is nothing but 5' to 3' direction. And another chain shows another one 3' to 5' direction, anti-parallel polarity. So anti-parallel polarity, this is also very important. Anti-parallel polarity. So DNA double helix, two strands of DNA or 2 strands of polynucleotide chain show the anti-parallel polarity. So anti-parallel polarity means 5' to 3' direction. So one chain is nothing but 5' to 3', another chain is a 3' to 5' direction. Anti-parallel polarity. That is even accession region question. Statement 1, double helix structure of DNA. 2 chains show the double helix structure of DNA shows the anti-parallel polarity. Second statement, one chain is a 5' to 3', Another polynucleotide chain is 3' to 5'. Both statements are correct. Second statement is also correct explanation for the first one. Then next feature, complementary bases. Complementary bases means nitrogen bases. Complementary bases pass through the hydrogen bonds. This is nothing but hydrogen bond. Complementary bases through the complementary bases pass through the hydrogen bonds. Adenine paired with thymine, guanine paired with cytosine, cytosine paired with guanine, thymine paired with adenine through the hydrogen bonds. This is also very important. Hydrogen bonds. Adenine always pair with thymine, guanine pair with cytosine, so cytosine pair with guanine, thymine pair with adenine. So in between adenine and thymine, there is a 2 hydrogen bonds are there. 2 hydrogen bonds. In between adenine and thymine, 2 hydrogen bonds are there. But in between guanine and cytosine, 3 hydrogen bonds are there. This is also very important. However, we'll say take the cytosine and guanine, this having also 3 hydrogen bonds. Then thymine to adenine having also 2 hydrogen bonds. How many hydrogen bonds are present in between adenine and thymine? 2. How many hydrogen bonds are present in between cytosine and guanine? 3. So complementary bases are pass through the hydrogen bonds. Purines always pair with the pyrimidine. Adenine, purine. Guanine, purine. So purine pair with always a corresponding pyrimidine. Purines always pair with the opposite corresponding pyrimidine. This generates purines pair with the corresponding pyrimidine. This generates uniform distance between the helix. Uniform distance between the helix. Very important question. So which of the following thing is a uniform distance between the helix? Which of the following thing is main responsible for uniform distance between the helix is nothing but purines pair with the corresponding pyrimidines. Purines pair with the corresponding pyrimidines. That is very important. Purines pair with the corresponding pyrimidine. That is nothing but it makes a uniform distance between 2 strands of the helix. This is a general information about this. Then adenine pair with the thymine, guanine pair with the cytosine, cytosine pair with the guanine, thymine opposite adenine comes. Thymine opposite adenine comes. Then hydrogen bonds also I told you. So some bonds well, just I'll give the information. Bonds present in between nucleoside. Bond present in between nucleoside, that is nothing but N-glycosidic bond. I mean nucleoside means nitrogen base is attached to pentose sugar. So nitrogen base attached to pentose sugar by N-glycosidic bond. Then phosphate is attached to nucleoside, phosphodiester bond. Then in between nitrogen base pairs, hydrogen bonds. Peptide bond present in between amino acids. So they chance to ask, all bonds, they chance to ask in a matching. Peptide bond present in amino acids. N-glycosidic bond present in a nucleoside. Phosphodiester bond present in nucleotide or in between nucleotides. And then hydrogen bonds in between nitrogen base pairs. These are the bonds story. Bonds. Then according to Chargaff rule, adenine, how much adenine is present? The same amount of thymine is present. How much guanine is present? The same amount of cytosine present. How much cytosine present? The same amount of guanine present. How much thymine is there? The same amount of adenine is also there. So features of double helix structure of DNA. Features of double helix structure of DNA, they follow the Chargaff rule. Yes, these are the different types of hydrogen bonds. Now see, sometimes question how that comes. In one side they should given the one sequence, nitrogen base sequence. Then write down the opposite strand sequence. Sometimes questions. I'll show that. Right. How it is. For example, in double helix structure of DNA, one strand consists of adenine, thymine, guanine, cytosine, thymine, guanine, cytosine. Then what is the sequence in another strand? Opposite, thymine, adenine, cytosine, guanine, adenine, cytosine, guanine. This is the opposite strand. Such type of questions also may chance to ask. So this is nothing but double helix structure of DNA features. And now measurements of the DNA. So then the distance, the diameter of the double helix structure DNA. The diameter of the double helix structure of DNA is the features of double helix structure of DNA is the diameter of double helix structure of DNA 20 angstroms. 20 angstroms are 2.0 nanometer. 20 angstroms are 2.0 nanometer. Then or sometimes the distance between two helix of DNA is also 20 angstroms or 2.0 nanometer. Then the length of the complete helix. The length of the complete helix is 34 angstroms or 3.4 nanometer. 34 angstroms or 3.4 nanometer. The length of the complete helix. The complete helix consists of how many base pairs? 5 base pairs. The length of the DNA helix consists of 5 base pairs. 10 base pairs are there. 10 base pairs. So the distance between two base pairs is 3.4 angstroms or 0.34 nanometer. The distance between two base pairs, successive base pair, 3.4 angstroms or 0.34 nanometer. There are two grooves are there. One is a minor groove and another one is a major groove. Minor groove is nothing but 1.2 nanometer. Major groove is a 2.2 nanometer. Major groove is a 2.2 nanometer. The angle of the base is 36 degree. This is the important measurements in a DNA. Yes. So these are the minor groove is a 1.2 nanometer. Major groove is a 2.2 nanometers. So these are the measurements of the DNA. So now I am going to repeat these features of double helix structure of DNA. So Watson-Crick proposed a double helix structure of DNA based on Wilkinson-Franklin X-ray diffraction data and Chargaff's rule. According to double helix structure of DNA, two strands are there, two polynucleotide chains. These two polynucleotide chains are coiled to form helix. Each polynucleotide chain having the backbone phosphate to sugar, phosphate to sugar, phosphate to sugar. Nitrogen bases are projected inwards. Then two polynucleotide chains show the anti-parallel polarity. One chain is nothing but 5' to 3' direction. Another chain is 3' to 5' direction. Then complementary bases pass through the hydrogen bonds. Then purines always pair with opposite corresponding pyrimidine. Then through the hydrogen bonds. In between adenine and thymine, two hydrogen bonds are there. In between same to same thymine to adenine, two hydrogen bonds. Guanine in between guanine and cytosine, three hydrogen bonds. Then cytosine and guanine having also three hydrogen bonds are present. Three hydrogen bonds are present. So a purines pair with a pyrimidine, corresponding pyrimidine, it generates uniform distance between in the helix. That is a very important. According to Chargaff rule, how much adenine there, the same amount of thymine is present. How much guanine there, same amount of cytosine also present. Then measurement of this one is the distance, the diameter of the two strands of DNA is 20 angstroms, and the distance between two strands also 20 angstroms are 2.0 nanometer. The length of the DNA helix is 34 angstroms or 3.4 nanometer. Then the distance between two successive base pairs. One complete length of the helix is 10 base pairs. So the distance between two successive base pairs 3.4 angstroms or 0.34 nanometer. There are two grooves are present in helix, one minor groove and one major groove. Minor groove is 1.2 nanometer, major groove is 2.2 nanometer. The angle of the base pair is 36 degrees centigrade. Of course, sometimes in NEET or theory or CET question, in one strand is adenine, thymine, guanine, cytosine, thymine, guanine, cytosine is there. Then another strand, what is the sequence is present? That is nothing but thymine, adenine opposite thymine, thymine opposite adenine, guanine opposite cytosine, cytosine opposite guanine, thymine opposite adenine, guanine opposite cytosine, guanine opposite cytosine, cytosine opposite guanine. So this type of things are present. This is nothing but features of a double helix structure of DNA. DNA, what we said, the double helix structure of DNA, right handle helix. So two polynucleotide chains coiled to form in right handle fashion. That is nothing but BDNA. BDNA. There is a different types of DNA. BDNA, cDNA, ddNA, aDNA, zDNA. So zigzag DNA. some having 10 base pairs, some having 9 base pairs, some having 11 base pairs, some having right-handed circle, some having left-handed. For example, Z DNA is a left-handed and a zigzag. So this is different types of DNAs also there. But what we discussed are the type of DNA present in humans, that is the right-handed version, that is the bDNA. The DNA of the two strands of two polynucleotide chains coiled in right-handed manner and having 10 base pairs, that is nothing but bDNA. Next concept, central dogma. Central dogma. This is an important concept. 3-mark question also important. Central dogma. The flow of genetic information. The flow of genetic information. DNA to mRNA. DNA to mRNA. mRNA to protein is nothing but central dogma. Central dogma. Flow of genetic information. Flow of genetic information from DNA to mRNA, mRNA to protein is a central dogma. So here the two important processes are involved in a central dogma. One is a transcription, and another one is a translation. So the chance to ask question: define central dogma, and who proposed central dogma? Central dogma proposed by Francis Crick. Francis Crick in 1958. The flow of genetic information is from DNA to mRNA, mRNA to protein is a central dogma. The two process involved in central dogma is transcription and translation. Sometimes what enzymes are involved in transcription and translation? So the enzyme involved in transcription is transcriptase enzyme. Transcriptase or DNA dependent RNA polymerase enzyme. Then the information can transfer from mRNA to protein is a translation. इसका enzyme is amino acyl synthetase enzyme. Sometimes they chance to ask enzymes also. Then replication means DNA to DNA. DNA gives another copy of DNA. So that is process of replication. The enzyme involved in replication, DNA replication. The enzyme involved in DNA replication is DNA polymerase, DNA dependent DNA polymerase enzyme. So questions how they chance to ask. Then for example, they skip these words A, B, C. Identify A, B, C, or A, B, C. Identify the A, B, C process and what enzymes are involved in this. So here replication, DNA dependent DNA polymerase enzyme. Then transcription, DNA dependent RNA polymerase or a transcriptase enzyme. Then here translation, amino acyl synthetase enzyme. Now I repeat this one. The flow of genetic information from DNA to mRNA to protein is a central dogma. इसमें two important processes are there: transcription and translation. Transcription means the genetic information transfer from DNA to mRNA is transcription. Enzyme involved in this process is transcriptase or DNA dependent RNA polymerase. Then what is a translation? Then the flow of genetic information mRNA to protein is a translation. Enzyme involved in this process amino acyl synthetase enzyme. Of course, name the enzyme involved in DNA replication means DNA dependent polymerase enzyme. This is a important central dogma given by Francis Crick in 1958. Sometimes this is very important. Sometimes in some virus, the flow of genetic information is in a reverse direction. In some virus, the flow of genetic information is in a reverse direction. The flow of genetic information is in reverse direction. देखो, in some virus, the flow of genetic information is in a reverse direction. Reverse direction means mRNA to protein. This is also very important. In some virus, the flow of genetic information is in reverse direction from mRNA to DNA. So DNA to mRNA is a transcription. Then mRNA to DNA is a reverse transcription. Such sometimes questions also make chance to ask what is reverse transcription? So the flow of genetic information is reverse in some viruses. The mRNA to DNA, that process is called a reverse transcription, or also called a teminism, or also called a reverse central dogma. So diagram like this, reverse central dogma. Then what enzyme involved in this process are reverse transcription? Name the enzyme involved in reverse transcription. That is a reverse transcriptase. Enzyme. Reverse transcriptase are RNA dependent DNA polymerase. So this is nothing but reverse transcription or feminism. Flow of genetic information is in reverse in direction mRNA to DNA. Enzyme involved in this process reverse transcriptase or RNA dependent DNA polymerase enzyme. See here, questions, some questions, matching type of questions also. Enzymes I am going to involve. Give that DNA replication, DNA dependent DNA polymerase. Transcription, DNA to mRNA, transcriptase or DNA dependent RNA polymerase. Translation, mRNA to protein, amino acid synthetase enzyme. Reverse transcription, mRNA to DNA, enzyme involved in this reverse transcriptase or RNA dependent DNA polymerase enzyme. Sometimes one side only enzyme, one side process. We need to identify that. This is nothing but central dogma. See here, central dogma given by Francis Crick in 1958. The flow of genetic information from DNA to mRNA to protein is a central dogma. So involved process 2, transcription and translation. Sometimes in some virus, the flow of genetic information is in reverse direction, that is mRNA to DNA, that is a reverse transcription. So enzymes involved in this transcription is a transcriptase enzyme, then translation amino acid synthetase, reverse transcription is reverse transcriptase enzyme. This is important about central dogma. Briefly write about central dogma, 3-mark question also chances. See here, any doubts? You may